What's up, Internet? Jason English with Big J's Extreme Fitness. Today's the 21st of December, 2012, and since we all survived the zombie apocalypse, we're going to keep on going, right? I know I said that I was leaving pretty soon, but I'm still here, maybe another day or two, and I'm going to try to get another video or two up before I leave. So I started this video last night. I got called out. It's the next morning, and I just finished a quick leg workout, but I feel like you're born with or without intensity. Go to a playground, look at a bunch of kids. You got some boys over here playing football. You got some girls over here doing their splits and their high kicks for cheerleading. You got some kids over here on the computers. You got kids over here talking, shaking hands, and talking about the weather. And then you got kids that are sitting on the bench watching the butterflies go by and, just swinging or whatever. There's intensity in every one of those kids to a certain degree. Now, intensity is like in the quotient of your blood type, your morals, your values, your standards, your mannerisms, your how you look, how you act. It's in that quotient. It really is, and along with tons and tons of other stuff in your DNA. But what you're looking at with the kids that are playing football is maybe the next star quarterback for the high school football team, or maybe even an NFL football player. The kids over here doing their cheerleading, maybe they're going to be the cheerleaders for the Dallas Cowboys. And then the kids over here that are on the computers are the ones that are creating new technical programs and software and hardware. And I don't know how to speak like that, but they're doing stuff like that. And then you got the kids over here shaking hands. Those guys may end up being in politics, or, being a sheriff of a town, or mayor, or, the next president of the United States. Those guys have the communication skills, even sales representatives for companies, or, CEOs of their own company. So there's intensity, and I'm sorry, I'm not picking on the kids that were watching butterflies. Those kids have a different outlook on how they approach intensity. They could be the next star chess player. They could be the next guitar player for the next awesome band. If you don't take intensity by the horns and ride it till it's dead, then you will not be able to be successful. And I know this story is kind of going round and round, but intensity cannot be bought. Intensity can barely be taught. Intensity has to be applied, and you can learn it from reading books or watching videos or looking at YouTube guys, but until you actually feel what intensity is like in the gym or at your job, creating programs, or, going that extra mile and running for that first down, or receiving that next vote to become the next officer in that electoral position, then you're missing out, guys. You have to take intensity into the classroom in high school and college with you to finish that assignment. You have to take intensity to your job to be able to complete the task that your boss gave you by noon, or you get fired. You have to take, and this is the bottom line, intensity to the gym, or you will not build the muscle as extreme and defined and muscular and vascular and striated and everything else that you could. Now, one thing that I wanted to include before I close the video is the main reason that I jumped into actual intensity, because, I was an intense kid. I used to work really hard. I played football, did a lot of stuff in school and whatnot, four-wheel drives and radios and tires, and just taking intensity to the next level, trying to be the best I could be, or better than the next guy, which, there's always somebody better than you. But when I was involved in that accident, a lot of my followers know this already, but I was run over by a Humvee about 20 years ago, broke 21 bones, and the doctors told me I would never walk or do a push-up properly again for the rest of my life. That's when I thought, okay, if I don't have intensity in my recovery and my physical therapy, and I was working out a little bit beforehand as well, then there's no way that I'm going to recover. So I proved the doctors wrong and my physical therapist wrong, and I jumped on stage as a bodybuilder a couple years later after my accident. I was powerlifting and winning competitions and boxing and, all the training that I participated in the military, and even after I got out. So that's what intensity is all about. If somebody says you can't, you better jump in there and say, yes, I can, and go for it. So I just want to add that in there, guys. If you stop, let's say you're doing a set of 5, and, the weight was too light, and, you barely got anything accomplished from pushing 5 reps, yeah, you are doing your insides good, and that's a different topic, but you didn't really benefit from what weight resistance training can do for you, okay? Think about the guys in, karate. Think about the guys that are boxing. Think about the guys that are riding the bull, holding on for 8 seconds. Think about the guys that are skiing down the ski lift or skiing down the moguls, trying to get down there as fast as they can. If they don't have intensity, they're not going to win. They have to implement the word intensity. It's a dedication, undivided attentive, exceptional surge of power. You know, it's just something, again, there's no explanation to it except for this. I learned what intensity was about 20 years ago when I started working out with figures like Vince Taylor, Dorian Yates, Barry DeMay, Mike Christian, Sean Ray, Ronnie Coleman, Branch Warren, Jay Moore, you know, all these guys that I've worked out with that have taught me that if you don't push it that little bit farther, then there's somebody else that will for sure. And if you're not genetically gifted, or if you're not as big or as cut or as whatever, you know, keyed in on your nutrition or your cardio, then your intensity falls short. Okay, if you don't have it, you're just not going to get it. Again, you have to grab it by the horns and you have to ride it. We're all snowflakes. We're all different. But remember, guys, the bottom line here, and I have tons of bottom lines, but the bottom line is intensity is taken. It's not given. You have to take it. It's not given to you. And that concludes this section. Intensity rules, train hardcore. Stay tuned for a couple more videos. I'm going to have working out to failure videos and different types of workout videos. Hopefully I'll get that done before I deploy, but we'll see you next time.
Come on up, let's get it.
Please do not stretch against the wall. Yeah, that's good form right there. That's real good form.